Hello to all my beautiful beings. Thank you for watching this video. Today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on self-worth and just kind of explore what that looks like for me. So as always, these are my opinions, and if anything I hope that this can maybe invoke some questions in you, some inspiration maybe. But I'm always open to hear other people's opinions, so if you want to comment or anything below, then please do. So I'm looking at self-worth and the way that it changes the way we act, the way we live, the way we treat ourselves, the way we view ourselves, all of these things. But really, the question in my mind goes to, what does the world look like when we all realise our own worth? Because being born proves enough that you are already worthy. You are already worthy of love, of everything that you desire. You are worthy of everything that you already have. Just from you being you, you're inherently worthy. It's like the sun. The sun shines on all of us the same. He doesn't judge us for what we've done or what we're thinking. That is unconditional love. So if we can realise and remember that we are unconditional love, we are love at our purest essence, then we can stop limiting ourselves and thinking of ourselves as worthless or worth less than others, or worth more than others even, because this goes the same way. For example, if you think you're better than someone because you've got more money, or you're stronger, or you've got more friends, or you're in a long relationship, all these things that society tells us we need, like a happy family, like la la la. If you think you're better than someone because of something external to yourself, then equally that power can be taken away when things inevitably change, or when you are with other people who have more money than you, or are more wise than you. You know, there's always going to be someone more than you. Whatever your skill is, whatever you're good at, whatever you want to be, there's going to be someone that's more than you, and that's okay. But it's just realizing that if we're comparing ourselves to others and thinking that we're better or lesser than someone because of our skills, our assets, our job, our whatever it is, then this can be taken away. So it's really about going within and finding it within ourselves, because when we realize that we are truly worthy, we are truly everything that we need to be, then no one can take it away. It cannot be lost. It's the same with us feeling beautiful. We don't need a partner to feel beautiful. We don't need a stable home to feel at home within ourselves. We don't need any of these things to feel our own power, to feel our own love. When we can remember that we're beautiful, we're lovable, we are love, we're all of the things that we try and find outside, we have it all within us. We have all of the power to feel all of the things inside of us. So the more that we tap into this internal power, the less it can be taken away, the less it's circumstantial. It's then completely sustainable, and I know that whatever happens, I can tap into myself, and I have an infinite power supply within me that no one or nothing can ever take from. So it's really looking at all the way back to childhood, how we were told that you have to prove yourself to be worthy. You know, whether that's through your family or friends. We're shown at school, if you do well in your test, you get a gold star. If you do as the teacher says, you get a gold star. So we're told all these guidelines of how you have to be to be a good person. And we fill ourselves, we attach ourselves to all of these shoulds. You know, we think we should be polite, we should be generous, we should be kind, we should, like all of these shoulds. And the more we impose them on ourselves, we're equally imposing them on everyone else. So the more we find ourselves judging others, shaming and guilting others for what they do, the more restrictions we're imposing on ourselves, and the more we're boxing ourselves into a way of acting through feeling like we should act a certain way, rather than tuning into our heart in every moment and thinking, how do I want to act in this moment? What do I want to do? Because we're told, some people are told that it's bad to be selfish, you know, share what you have, which is great. And again, when you're tuning into your heart, so often you do want to give, because it's so nice to share, and it's such a beautiful act. But when we're sharing because we think we should or we have to, it's completely changing the vibration of the act. It's becoming one of of resentment almost, because you're wanting to say no but you're saying yes because you're maybe worried what others think, and you want to be a good person and you don't want to be someone that says no. So we're not acting from a truthful place, we're acting from our boxes. And this can play out in so many ways, in all of the ways really. You know, we might be strongly held to our political views and think that everyone else is wrong. We might think that cheating is really, really wrong. But if it's so wrong, then why do so many people A, do it, and B, have the urge to do it? You know, because we're living by these rules that we've inherited and we've given ourselves, and we're just not being true. So it's really coming to a place of remembering that you do not have to do anything to be worthy. You are already worthy. So it's not something that can be attained or achieved. Because if we look for it externally, say for example, an author writes a book and she's written her whole life and she finally gets a successful book, gets 10 million sales, and then she thinks, finally I've made it, finally I've proven to myself that I'm a good artist, finally I've proven to my dad that it was right for me to follow my dream, and all of these things. But then what happens if the next book comes out and it doesn't make very many sales? Is she not worthy anymore? No, of course not. It was then her art not any good? No, of course not. We're sharing from our hearts. It really doesn't matter what others think. And it's again seeking that external validation for us to feel good about ourselves, which is in social media at the moment quite magnified through receiving likes and comments and views and all of these things, that we think, oh well, if it got more views then it must be a better video. It's like, no, we're just all sharing our truth. We're worthy already, and that cannot be taken away from us. So we don't need to prove ourselves. It's just a much more fluid way to live, when in every decision we're truly listening to our heart, to our own inner truth. Because when we throw away these shoulds, it's not like you're going to go and cause loads of carnage and go and steal and lie and all these things. You're still going to be acting truthfully, but they're coming from your own truth rather than things you've been told that you need to do. Because maybe we're told that we shouldn't be angry. We need to suppress our anger because that's a bad emotion, you know? And then we suppress it and we suppress it and it boils up inside, and we're not being truthful. And it's fine to be angry. We have to kind of accept that we have all these desires. Like, if you have ever lied, stolen, been violent, done something for money that you don't agree with, if you've been rude to someone, if you've been mean or spiteful, or you've deceitful, any of these things that we're told in society are bad and you shouldn't do them, if you've ever done them, no matter what scale, it's like you can use that as having compassion, that, okay, yeah, it's maybe not something that I want to continue doing, but we've all been there, we've all experienced this. We can have a bit more compassion, A, for ourselves, and equally again for everybody else. Because the more love and acceptance we can find for ourselves and who we were and who we will be and who all these things that we've done, the more love and acceptance we can have for everybody else. Because just as we are on a journey, you know, there's so many things that I've done in my past that I wouldn't do now. I hopefully wouldn't do again, but maybe I will. I don't know. Things like, we've all experienced different things that make us react in different ways. And we're all just learning, we're all just experiencing life. So if we can stop shaming ourselves and living with all this guilt of these things that we've done, you know, we carry around all of our flaws because we can remember all the bad things we've done. We can remember all the things that we feel guilty about and we feel shame about. And we carry them with us. And this can lead to such a decrease in our self-worth, because we think that according to the books, we have been a bad person and maybe we're not worthy and we don't try hard enough and all of these things. So it's taking that compassionate acceptance to ourselves where we are right now, right here, and accepting that it's okay if we do anything, and also having it for other people. Because if you see a guy, maybe a woman, also anyone, and they're doing something that you really, really disagree with, say for example a politician, in 10 years they may look back and say, wow, I can't believe I acted that way. I feel like I would never do that now. You know, we're all learning different things at different times, and it's not a linear path. And retrospect is such a beautiful thing, but if we could get that act of retrospect and looking back and realizing things and take it into the now, it can help us to accept more of where we are and more of where others are. And it's not saying, I'm not saying just let everyone do what they want, but it's just if we just stop putting shame and guilt onto others for the way that they're acting and live from a more compassionate place, how then could the world change? What happens if we open the conversation between us and others? You know, the ones that we disagree with, maybe on a big scale or a large scale. This could be your neighbour, it could be someone that you cross in the street. Either way, our brothers and sisters, how can we open the conversation just to kind of understand each other a bit more and get to know why we're acting the way we do? Because so often you see people and they look back on the things they've done and they're a different person now. So they were always that person, you know. We can accept them wherever they're at, because the more that we push this shame and guilt on others, the more we are shaming and guilting and disattaching and pushing away parts of ourselves, our shadow parts that want to be seen, they want to be heard, they're here for a reason, they're here to teach us something. So if we stop pretending that we don't have these bad urges, that we don't have these thoughts, then we can love ourselves more wholly and love and accept all of ourselves and have more compassion for each other and start to understand why. You know, it's the conversation from me to you as much as it is the conversation of all of my parts inside my head. It's the same story playing out in the internal and the external. So it's looking at our views, our shoulds, our beliefs, all of these things that we're told makes a good person. Just ask yourself and take time to listen. Do these views serve me, or are they limiting me? Because, like I said, it's not like you throw away all your shit and you go and cause chaos. It's a lot of them serve you. So some of them maybe you'll want to keep, but some of them maybe you don't. Maybe they're limiting you. Maybe they're keeping you boxed in to a way that your parents told you, or your friends told you, or society's told you. So it's all comes down to loving and accepting and realizing that we're worthy without proof. We don't need to prove ourselves. We can just act from the heart, and that's okay. It's all okay. The more open we are, the more we realize that we're worthy anyway, without any approval, then the more we're open to receive more things, because we know that we're deserving of love. We know that we're deserving of more abundance. We know that we're deserving of all of these things we want, even if it's just a holiday. We're already worthy. So the more we remember that, the more open we are to receive. And then it's kind of like a feedback loop of more receiving and more worthiness, and just endless. So just remember, you're not your thoughts, and just let's not be so hard on each other, on ourselves, because we all have these things pop up, and we can't deny that we have this darkness inside of us, that there's so much going on in the world, and just by pushing it away and saying that it's wrong, we're not going to be able to understand it any better. So remember that you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are love, you are everything that you need to be right now. So it's all good, and everyone is just kind of figuring their own shit out. So we can just try a little tenderness and try a little more compassion, and yeah. So I hope that you remember your worthiness, because we were all worthy through birth, and I hope you have a very blessed day. And thank you for watching my video. Do please subscribe or share or like it if you liked it. So yeah, thank you.